Hello and welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're spending the day in Charlotte, North Carolina, in the university area to be exact, and we're going to stop into the Ikea store. This is a store that I do not come to nearly enough, but whenever I'm on this side of town, this is one place that I definitely like to stop in. Now, today we're not looking for anything in particular. We're just checking out the scenes to see what's new in Ikea. And I've got on my good walking shoes because whenever you come here, you know that you're going to get plenty of steps in because this store is huge and they have it set up like a maze, so it's very easy to get lost in here. And I love shopping for home decor inspiration, and the way that they have certain rooms set up in the Ikea store, it's a great place to get some really good inspiration. Now, I haven't been here since prices have kind of increased across the board, but Ikea used to be a very affordable place to shop for home furnishings. So lamps, lighting, sofas, all of those types of things used to be fairly affordable. So we're going to check it out today and see if that is still the case. They definitely have some good looking pieces, like this space here looks really, really nice. And I'm admiring the lighting here that they have. I love this lamp as well as the table lamp that we just took a look at. Now, this is $400 for that one. So yeah, that's a bit pricey, but nice. And then this kitchen area, I love the kitchens. Like if money were no object, I would love to do a remodel of my kitchen. And I would definitely want to have some version of a hooded vent in my kitchen. But anyway, I don't have the space, the money, or anything else to do that. So we could just look in here and dream, because one thing about walking through the store, it doesn't cost you anything to do that. And I thank God for the kitchen that I do have. I don't lack for anything, so don't get me wrong on that. I am blessed and I recognize that. This is just something that I like to do for entertainment for myself. It's something I enjoy. It's a stress reliever for me. And so, yeah, so I'm just bringing you along with me to enjoy in my therapy for the day. I really love these shelves here. Now, this is two shelves side by side. They're $249 a piece, but I really, really love this shelf. And I've been thinking about what I want to do, like in my loft area. I've kind of left that space kind of in limbo, but these would be really, really nice for that space right upstairs in my home. I love these. $249 a piece. Not terrible for that. They also have those Billy shelves, which we'll take a look at later. They're a little bit less expensive, but I do like the look of these much better. And I love how they have it styled too. I love coming places where they actually have displays that you can look at and get, ideas and tips and things like that. But I think this is beautifully styled. It's not too much. It gives your eyes something really nice to look at without being fatigued or whatever. Sometimes we can overdo things and it's not as relaxing on your eye. But for me, that was a really relaxing spot. I really like the way that they had that set up. And look at these lights here. These are gorgeous. That's the Stockholm light, and it's been around for a while. We're going to see a lot more of their lighting as we go through the store, but they have really had some really nice ones. So I do recommend coming here if you're looking for lighting. I was looking for lighting not too long ago myself and really wish that I had seriously considered Ikea, because they really do have some pretty ones. Now, these are nice as well. These are $99. I'm pretty sure these are separate pendant lights or whatever, but those are really nice, and I love the way that they have them grouped in the set of three. So now we're over in the area where they have some accent tables, coffee tables, and things like that. And they're pretty decently priced, I guess, considering this is the Stockholm table here. And they just have some, they're pretty basic for the most part. This one here is pretty nice. That's $119. That kind of reminds me of the Parsons tables from back in the day. That one's $199, and then they have some up here that really caught my eye. Now, these are very, very lightweight. They're not really heavy-duty tables, so if you're looking for something more heavy-duty, this may not be what you're looking for, but they have a good look to them. Like this one has that smoky glass. It's $179 for this one. Overall, it's worth taking a look at because you just never know. You may just find exactly what it is that you're looking for. Now, I don't know anything about IKEA sales. I don't come in here enough to know that, but that may be a possibility as well. Now, this is the famous Billy shelves. These have been around for a long time. They have been very, very popular. They're just a basic shelf, but they're really tall and they have a good look to them. Once you get them grouped together, you can put 2 or 3 together to create a larger shelf, and they look nice. They can really look nice. And this is another one that's a nice shelf here. But these are some very good looking pieces. Now, I asked ChatGPT to reimagine my loft area if I were to do the three Billy cases instead of the arch cabinet, and that's what it came back with. I'm not making a purchase or anything like that. I just thought it would be fun to see what it would look like in the event that this is the route that I went. Now, what I don't love are those little adjustment areas for your shelves. I don't like those holes, and perhaps it comes with those little tabs to put on there to cover those holes. I'm not really sure. But anyway, I'm continuing on with my tour of the store, and they have this little area here, which is beautiful. I love the way that this looks. I would love for my garage to be this organized, but this is like a garage or utility room organization thing. I'm trying to figure out what the prices are here. There's multiple pieces here that you just kind of pair together. So I really couldn't tell what was what. But anyway, they do have things like this if you're looking to remodel or organize your garage. So it looks like this main piece here is $300, and they have drawers there so you can put your tools and things like that. This is really, really nice. I like this a lot. My garage right now is a hot mess, and I did not do any cleaning in there when I was doing my spring cleaning, and it's probably not going to get done anytime soon. I've got a lot of other things that I'm trying to get ready. I'm trying to get my outdoor space, living space together, so so that I can get to doing my hibachi and all of that kind of stuff. I've been out there cooking, but it's time to get it cleaned up, get all the pollen off and all of the things. Here's another shelf that I really like. This one has the doors on it here. This is a good looking piece. It looks more sturdy than the Billy case or whatever, but yeah, that's what it's looking like. Nice little door pulls on it or whatever. So I'm just kind of looking at those types of things to see what's out here. What are the options? They have multiple colors here. That green is really pretty and vibrant. And then they have the natural wood. They have white and then like a beige color and then the navy that we were looking at. There is just so much to look at in this store. It was really hard for me to stay focused as always, but I'm over here right now checking out everything. And this is like a display case or something like that I thought was interesting. Lots of stuff to look at. Now I'm over here with some more lighting. This piece here really caught my eye. I really like this. This was $69. It's very, very lightweight. It's almost like paper, but it's got a really good look, especially if you're into like the boho look or whatever. I really like that. Now, these stems I looked at because I really thought they were pretty and I was expecting them to be, relatively inexpensive. But to my surprise, they were $10 each, which I thought was a bit pricey. So I moved right on over here to this vase. I really like the way that this vase looked, and I was trying to get a price on that. Some of the things just aren't labeled, so I can't tell what they cost. But I guess that's a tactic maybe some stores are using since the prices are so high. I don't know. But anyway, I love looking at the kitchens when I come in here. I always stop at those displays that they have. And this one really caught my eye. I love the way that everything looked in here, so modern. And it had those light fixtures that I fell in love with. So I'm looking at the appliances here. I guess Ikea sells these appliances. I don't know. But anyway, they had them in here. And I love the way that the drawers were set up. I took a look in the drawers, and they were all set up so that you can remain organized with different sections and things like that. So I really like that a lot. And here's another angle of the kitchen here. I love the sink here. I love the faucet. It's just so nice, so modern and everything. Now, I don't know anyone that's ever had their kitchen remodeled by IKEA, so I don't know the longevity of the things here or whatever. I've heard mixed things about them. Here's the pricing here for something like this. So if you've had a kitchen or any space in your home remodeled by IKEA, if you could comment below, let me know what your experience was. I've only bought furniture pieces from them, and I do have an opinion, which I will share. But as far as the kitchen remodels and things like that, these look really, really good. And I know they are heavily, heavily used in Europe and places like that. So I'm thinking that they're pretty good options. Look at this kitchen. This is beautiful. I love the drawer pulls that they have in here. It just has a really, really nice, clean look. And look at that hood. I love it, love it, love it. I love the backsplash. This is a nice looking setup here. This display is really, really nice. And I love how they have everything kind of displayed and organized with a few little essential items that you would have in your kitchen, just to kind of give you a really good feel of what this would look like in the event that you got this, in your home, and how it may look. The drawer pulls, look at that. They are just gorgeous. Love this. Love, love, love. They even have the table decorated. They have a barscape going on over here. Very, very nice. I love this. I have to go in these drawers just to see what they have going on in here and how they're showing how it can be organized. I don't have much going on in this one, but I had to look. I like this sink too. This is more like the farmhouse sink. I don't know if those are still really a thing. I know they were all the rage about 5 years ago. Not real sure what's happening now in that area. This is another nice kitchen here, and I love how they have it very colorfully displayed and how they have the plants. That's going to catch my eye every time. So now I'm over here, just randomly ran into these hangers, and I spoke about the hangers not too long ago while I think we were in Ross. But anyway, these caught my eye because they're really sturdy. And I did try them, and I'm loving them so far. That was a good deal on them. I think they were $4.99. Now we're over here in some dishes, and they have dishes cheaper than you can get them at the Dollar Tree. These are just plain white plates. They're really thin, so they're not really heavy duty or whatever, but these will be perfect for someone just starting out in their home or their first apartment or something like that. 80 cents a piece, you cannot beat that. And like I said, you can't get it that cheap even at the Dollar Tree. So now I'm over here looking at all of the rest of the dishes here, and they have some really bright colors here, like that mustard yellow was pretty. That green there is really nice. They have some turquoise plates. They have a lot of different things going on in here. Now, these are not 80 cents. These are a little bit more pricey, just depending on which ones you choose. But I did want to take a look. And of course, these amber ones caught my attention until they didn't. When I picked them up and saw that white bottom, I'm like, why did you do that? Those would have been so pretty. Now, IKEA originated in Sweden, so you're going to see a lot of Sweden language signs and things like that in here, so keep that in mind. These caught my eye. I really like these as like coffee spoons or something like that. Those would be really pretty if you decorate with the gold. They also had silver. I wish that they had black, but they did not. But you could get a set there for like $5.99 for those. They also had some appetizer forks and things like that. If you're hosting a party, those were $7.99. So you can pick up little things like that at IKEA, which, is pretty good, decent price. Now, I had to take part in the IKEA experience and take a little selfie break here. So that was a little fun moment there. But anyway, we're over here now where the blinds are. And this is what I wanted to take a look at to see how their blinds were priced and what the quality of their blinds are. So I'm looking over here to see, just what they have to offer here. I've heard that they've had affordable blinds, and they do, relatively speaking. They have these little really small pleated shades here. The mechanism on here is really good, so I do like that. And they are $49.99 for these. And of course, they have different sizes to choose from. They also have different colors to choose from. So if you are considering blinds and you're not going the route of customized blinds, IKEA is a great option for where you may be able to find what you're looking for. And they had all of the usual suspects. Here are your zebra blinds. My goodness, it's like a tongue twister here. They were a little bit more pricey than the other ones. Now, to me, the quality of these just wasn't that great. It was just a little bit too sheer. Now, if you prefer like a light filtering versus blackout, these would be perfect. And they are, that's a pretty good size for that price, which is not bad at all. So, yeah, they had a large selection of blinds here. So that was good to see. But now we're going over here to the light section. And this is the area that I really, really enjoyed. I saw quite a few light fixtures that I really, really liked. And relatively speaking, the pricing of them is not bad at all. This one is really different, but it literally feels just like paper. But I guess in the grand scheme of things, if it's hung up, as a light fixture is, no one really know the feel of it. This is $40 for that. It had a good look to it, but the feel of it was very, very cheap. It was not high quality at all. And then they had those blinds there. Those have been out for a long, long time. This one kind of reminded me of the handmade Handmaid's Tale. Look at that. I remember some of the kids in the dorms and apartments up at school when my son was in college 20 years ago that had these, that they had just come out at that time, and they were hugely popular. So it's interesting that they are still out here, but these are literally made out of paper. They're like the lantern type lights or whatever. Not sure what they're called, but they're relatively inexpensive as well. If you're trying to get rid of builder grade lighting in your home or the old school boob lights and things like that, this is a great option because, like I said, you can find some lighting here as cheap as $30. That was about the cheapest one that I saw. And they're not bad looking. They're very nice light fixtures here. There was one for $19.99 there too. So lots to choose from. Now we're getting over in the area where the ones that were very intriguing to me. So I saw a couple over here that I really, really like. These here with the trio, that's nice. I love the look of those. Those are really nice. It's $179 for that set. This is another one that has a nice look to it. It didn't have a price on it, unfortunately. This one here is a nice one, and that's kind of like one that you see at a lot of the lighting stores. This one here is kind of the classic. This looks like the Stockholm. It's $199 for that one. They had different sizes of that one, but those were really pretty. And so I'm just looking to see if there's anything, because I do have two boob lights left in my home, and I am looking to replace them, but I'm looking to replace them as inexpensively as I can. And you can see here, they have a very impressive selection here. Like I said, I am in the store in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I believe there's only one in Charlotte of this size. We do have a mini Ikea store, which I'm not even sure why they opened that. It is such a waste. But look at that black one there. That is pretty. That's $69 for that one. They have it in white. And they also have a black one that has sort of like a brass inside, more like a copper inside. Look at that. That's gorgeous. I love that. That's a beautiful piece. And what's interesting with this is you are able to close it up so that you can have it to look more like a sphere or have it open where it looks like this. That's pretty cool. It was ranging between 69 and 79 depending on what color combination you got. I was feeling it just to get an idea of quality. It wasn't the best quality, but it wasn't horrible either. I definitely would do this if I had a space for this in my house. I liked it that much. I really did. Here's another one that caught my eye off a distance. Once I got closer to it, I wasn't that crazy about it. But what that told me is that once it's hung in the home, it would have a decent look to it. This was $149 to it. Close up, it looked kind of strange. But yeah, I mean, I liked it from a distance. It caught my eye. I was like, that's striking. So now we're over here at the rugs section. I always like to look at the rugs that they have in here. They have these two vibrant colors here, this orange and this yellow high pile rugs here. They have a large selection of rugs as well to choose from. I'm kind of looking for my outdoor rugs, which I didn't see any of those. These are mostly for indoor. They have some really colorful ones. So if you're into colorful rugs, Ikea is a great option. They've had these over here, these cowhide ones for a long time. Every time I've come in here, I remember seeing those. Now comment below, let me know what your thoughts are on these. Now I know, there's the school of thought about the animals or whatever. I don't think these are real, but they could be. I don't know. But anyway, comment below. Let me know if this is something that you would consider putting in your home. Well, isn't this pretty? This is a nice little floral arrangement. I actually like the flowers, and we're going to be seeing a lot of their florals here. This is a good place to buy both real and faux florals. So we're going to go into that section here pretty quickly. But that one just caught my eye. So here we are entering into the section where we're starting to see a little bit more of their greenery and outdoor items that they have. They have very vibrant colors. They have a lot of their pots out now. So if you're looking for your pots for your upcoming spring, summer season, IKEA is a great place to check out for that. Also, if you're looking for the larger trees and things like that for either inside or outside of your home, IKEA is a great place for that as well. These plants are very, very healthy looking. They were really, really nice and not badly priced at all. Now, they have these smaller ones here and the small plots that were $5.99. So if you're just starting off with some plants, it's a great place to start without making a huge, huge investment. I thought these were really, really pretty. I had something similar last summer outside in my home, and they lasted really well. So I might consider doing something like that once we get closer to the summer season. They also had these hydrangea. Now, if I'm going to purchase some hydrangea, I want the shamrock ones. These are pretty, but I really, really love the shamrock ones. I think they are gorgeous. And for whatever reason, they tend to be a little bit more pricey. Walking through here is almost like being in a plant nursery. They have so many plants to choose from in here. Like I said, both real and faux. So, regardless of what you're looking for, they had succulents. They just had a large selection. I really was tempted to purchase a plant, but I really don't have room for any more indoor plants. So I had to pass them by, but they had some really, really pretty ones in here. Look at these. These are so pretty. Look at the leaves here. So pretty. Oh my God, it was so hard to walk away, but I had to. Now, before we leave out of here, I definitely want to get a closer look at their faux plants because, like I said, they have a pretty good selection of those as well. So here they are. Some look more lifelike than others, but there are definitely some good ones to choose from in here. So definitely a place to consider. I think the at-home store is my favorite for outdoor faux plants. But Ikea has some good ones too. So yeah, between the two, you can probably find exactly what you're looking for. As we continue to walk through the plant section, it is the perfect time for me to stop and say, hello, my name is Sandy, because I don't think I said that at the beginning. I was so excited to be at Ikea. But anyway, if we're meeting for the first time, nice to meet you. And if you're not currently subscribed, I would like to ask that you consider hitting that subscribe button today before you leave. I would love to have you as a part of my YouTube family. Over here, we do all things home decor. We do a lot of store walkthroughs. We decorate our homes. We decorate the yard. We do all types of work. It's the time of year now that we're getting geared up for the spring season and the spring outdoor living space. So lots of exciting content coming in that area. If that's something that you love, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's free. You don't have to pay anything for that. And if you hit that post notification bell, you'll be notified each time I upload additional videos. And all my existing family members, thank you so, so much for your support. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I hope that you have enjoyed this store walkthrough. Now, I'm going to put the remainder of this video to music so that you can check out the rest of the garden section. They had quite a bit to look at in here today, and I don't want you to miss any of it. So until next time, bye-bye.